Hey, what's going on, guys? How all are you doing? Welcome to a new video tutorial from Emmet. Today's one, we're gonna talk about faster image or faster web page creation on HTML using Emmet. So if you don't know what Emmet is like a toolkit for web developers, which allow you to clearly create web pages very quickly and fastly and in a really nice productive way. So it's just gonna help you a lot if you are like a web developer. Emmet is just the best choice for you. So if you're getting bored of typing HTML tags over and over again a lot, like the same thing, tables, div, like a lot of times, and creating a lot of HTML tags for a single web page, or if you're actually a freelancer dealing with a lot of web pages, and you're getting bored of retyping the same tags over and over again, Emmet is the right choice for you to go ahead and learn. Besides all of that, it's very simple and very easy for you to use, since if you're a web developer, you already know CSS, and Emmet and CSS have some like prerequisites shared between both of them. So yeah, you can clearly understand Emmet right out of the box. So here's the Emmet.io, the official website of the Emmet. Emmet is available under code editors like Visual Studio Code and Atom, pre-installed on that, as well as Sublime. So if you're like one of the lovers who love or use one of these code editors, so you can just use it right out of the box. Besides, if you have any other code editor, make sure to go ahead and download that and install it for the particular one. In our case, actually, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code because it's the right thing, it's the best thing, or the best code editor for me, and for a lot of people actually are saying that this is the best one for web developers. So make sure to download it or use your code editor. You can take a look on the documentation and stuff. Besides all of that, there's like a sheet, a very cool one, an official one. You can go to the docs.emmet.io/sheet-shit. So this is like gonna give you the sheet of the Emmet. You can just go ahead and take a look whenever you forgot how to type something or a specific element, how to do something in Emmet, yada. Or if you want to learn from it, this is the basic way, or this is from where you need to go ahead and start. Just start looking on how things actually get to work. Start by the snippet example in here, copy paste them, and you will learn, obviously. So let's just go ahead and start with Emmet. Sorry, let me just go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code. So as you can see, I have like a very basic projects in here. It does have two index two files, actually, an HTML file, an HTML page, and a CSS style. So Emmet actually both works for the HTML and CSS. It works more like better for the HTML web pages, or more sophisticated for the HTML web page. Now, as I've said, Visual Studio Code has that installed automatically. Now, if we try to type HTML only, if you remember, when we want actually to create an HTML page, you need to go through all of that. We create the HTML tag, we create the doc type, we create the header, we create the body, we create the footer, all of that different things. But with Emmet, all we do is just type in HTML. As you can see, we get this really nice anti-license thing. As you can see in here, if you can take a look, there's Emmet abbreviation, and we can select HTML, the 5th version, or HTML XML. We select HTML 5th version just by pressing the tab key on your keyboard. It's just gonna give you that really nice boiler pattern very quickly, and now we have like a boiler pattern or web page boiler pattern set up for you right out of the box. You can use it. It's very simple, as I've said. It's very basic thing to set up, and very easy to get started with. So here's how you can create very quickly an HTML page using Emmet. Now let's say you want to create a div, like a div elements very quickly using Emmet. All you type is a div, you click the tab, and here you go, you've got a div created for you successfully. If you want like an H3 text, you just type this, click tab, and here you go. If you have like small, you can do that. You want say an input, you do that, it gives you the type automatically for you. You can add other attributes as well, and so on and so forth. So very quickly, but that won't be that great thing. What Emmet adds a lot of other things. You can add custom attributes or classes and IDs of the elements by typing the Emmet command. Let's say we want to have like a div elements or a div tag elements. On that, we want a class, a customer class, and we want this class to be my class and an ID, my ID. So to do that, we type in the dot. The dot represents or tell Emmet that I'm gonna like put in a class in here. So it's gonna be our class or my class, and to tell it that we want an ID is by passing it or giving it a hashtag. So hashtag, then my ID. Now if we try, as you can see, make sure to have this one on Visual Studio Code. Make sure to get the interlicense thing here. That will ensure that Emmet is working pretty much fine for your project, just by pressing the tab key, and here you go. So you get the class automatically added for you, you get the ID automatically added for you, you get the dev thing, and you can just start adding elements right into it with no problems. Let's say into that we want to add an h3. With this one you have like a class and with an ID of title, you press that, and here you go, you get that, and you can type in the text in here and so on and so forth. Now let's say this h3, or you want a p element or a paragraph element. Inside that paragraph element, since it's a paragraph, you want some text inside that. Using curly braces, just by curly braces in here, you can put in text by also putting quotation in here, just double quotations, and you can put in whatever text in here, blah blah blah. So blah blah or something, I don't know. Just by typing the tab key, and here you go, you get that between those. As you can see, we get the quotation over here. You can just remove them here. So you want like without quotation, actually we just put that using this. As you can see, press the tab and we get the text added for us automatically. So yeah, really quickly, very easy, makes our lives way much more easier as web developers. We create pages a lot, and if you're like trying to get into freelancing, or if you have your own company, your own projects, you're actually facing a lot of dev or a lot of HTML web pages creation. So this could be the best solution for you could have for now. Let's say you want to have like something else, you want to create a list. So like a UL list, inside that you have like a list or list item and so on and so forth. So how we can do that? We use the UL. So remember, we do that, we give it this, but we don't want the UL only. We want a UL with the children and li. So the list with an item as a child. In fact, we don't want actually one item, we want like 10 items on that. So it's gonna be very boring to go ahead and create that manually, like the first item, the second one, the third, even though copy pasting could be like a little bit ugly and not good at all. So to do that, we use the the right direction arrow. That means we're gonna like import the child, and which child we want is an li. So that tell it we want a ul as the parent and li as a child of this parent. So the li, we want to give it a class, so the class is gonna be like an item, and we want to give it an id of my id. Simple. Now just by pressing the tab, and as you can see, we get only one. So in fact, what I want is not only one, we want a 10. So 10, we use the multiplication sign, so the times sign times what time number, so times 10. As you can see, we get 10 items inside that. Let's say you want like 2 or 3 list items, each one there is 10 items inside that time or inside that list. So here we give it like 3, then the li we give it times 10. So if we try to do that, make sure to delete the last letter and just put it again in order to get the interlicense and get Emmet recognized successfully. Just by putting that, as you can see, we get 3 ul lists. Inside each one of them has a 10 li list or li items, and with the classes and everything. So as you can see, it's very basic thing, very nice for us to do. Let's say we want to like have a ul list inside of an li, and we want the class gets numbered from 1 to 10, like in ascending order. So the item or the class we want is, the first one is like item -1, the second one item -2, -3, -4, and so on and so forth. So we want to do that. How we can do the numbering is just by using the $sign. So $sign, just we concatenate the $sign with a class or even with the ID, just gonna work pretty much fine. So this will add the numbers to the my ID and add the numbers to the class. Now if we try to go ahead and do that, we press the type, and as you can see, it gets item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5, and so on and so forth. We can use the dash just by just putting the dash in here if you really want to do that very quickly, and as you can see, we get that. So yeah, you can do plenty of other things in here. You can use tables, inside tables you can create other elements and so on and so forth, using the times, using the ID, using the other things that Emmet offers actually. So you can take a look on this on the sheets because it's very important for you to take a closer look in here. It's just gonna make your life way much more easier. Let's say we want to like create 3 different tag elements in here. So to do that, like we want a div NP and like an h3 or a small. So we want a div to tell it that we want to create a div with like my class, and we want to create another element just by typing one single command. We use the plus sign. Now we give it the second element we want. Let's say we want like an h3, then a plus. We want a small with an ID of ID. Just simple. Just pressing that, and as you can see, we get 3 elements by the order that we have typed: the div, then the h3, then the small with the ID and the classes and everything. It's pretty much working fine. So as you can see in here, you can add a lot of other things. Using the plus sign in here means that you need, or you're actually going to concatenate multiple tag elements with their classes and their IDs. You can add it in here multiplication to create multiple elements. You can add inheritance or parent and child by using the arrow, like the right arrow, and so on and so forth. You can do plenty of other things. So as you can see in here, you can do that. You can create also like input very quickly. You can create like input color and input number, input checkbox, just by putting that right away. So let's say we want like an input and an input password. So just by typing that, we get an input of a type, password, and a name, just an empty, and ID and empty. You can just fill it out like freely from your own passwords and name. And you can do plenty of other things. You can just go with like an input checkbox in here. You can just go ahead and copy that just for learning purposes and type in the next one, and you get the type of checkbox and so on and so forth. You can just go ahead and manipulate that. You can use them in here to know more about that. You can just put in here like a script if you're trying to put a JavaScript in yours in here, and you can do that. So yeah, it offers a lot of things to do in here. With the sources, types, objects, and area, and medias, and stuff like that. I really recommend to go ahead and check this sheet because it's like an official cheat sheet and it's free for charge. So just go ahead, just putting that on your bookmark in here. As a web developer, you're gonna need it over time. So yeah, it's gonna be very helpful for you as you're going on your career. So for the CSS right now, the CSS is pretty straightforward. Actually, you don't have that much of a complicated thing, but Emmet makes it more simpler, even more simpler actually. So you can add just only a pause, means a position of relative, pause, and a colon, and s, that means position of static, an absolute, relative, fixed, and yada yada yada. Now if we try to go with the style, and let's say like we have a class of my class, and let's say like we have a position, so we want to like a static position in here. We put that and we get a position, like static position. If we go back, I don't know, let's go with the I don't know, something interesting a bit. Well, let's go with like background color, clip, not clip. So let's go with the let me see that. So like background color, and we give it the base black color. So like just by BG, that means the black color, and you can change the color in here however you want. You can give it FFF for the whites, and vice versa. You can just give it another hex color value, and so on and so forth. So you can do plenty of other things. Let's say you want to like do something else. Let's say like we want to do a bit like border or something. So as you can see, we have like a border dash left dash color transparent. So just by putting that BDL, so BDLC, and just putting that, it gives you a border left color very quickly. You can type that snippet in here, and it's gonna give you that really nice things. So let's say like text align, so text align here, text align left, or font size FS, and or like font style, and you can give it a font style like a bold or something, and yada yada yada. But the CSS is actually on its own, it's very basic and very straightforward, but Emmet make your life even more easier to use and more easier to understand. So yeah, that was actually for the Emmet. As you can see, as you have seen on the demo, it allowed us to create tag elements, a lot of them actually very complicated hierarchy in a very short amount of time, in a very quick way, and you can be more productive about that just by reading the cheat sheet. It's gonna make you way much more powerful in this. If you're really intending to learn that, if you're really intending to be like a good web developer, especially for the front end, because you're creating web pages in here, that means you're gonna need to learn Emmets, because Emmets are being the most important thing now in web development. A lot of web developers actually are trying to learn that, because it's just that nice thing that you need to add into your toolbox, to your career and stuff like that, and you need to learn it on your career. So yeah, that was actually, guys, for this tutorial. That was a very basic thing, just learning about the Emmet. For those of you who doesn't know about the existence of such plugins, of such toolkits, they make your life way much more easier actually. So thank you guys for watching again. I really hope you enjoyed, all of you, and make sure to check out our website for any other tutorials in here. We have like plenty of other tutorials. If you really want to check them out, just search or go to the tutorials, go to the categories, and you can find another really nice ones. So as I've said, I will catch you all, guys, in the next video tutorial.